I call the Honourable the Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, I want to report today that we've had 6,300 new cases, and that includes 3,524 positive RATs. Mr Speaker, tragically we have to report today that there are 37 deaths. 29 of these are due to being reported by the Registry of Births, Deaths and Marriages. Births, deaths and marriages report to Queensland Health on a weekly basis, and this reporting is reflected in today's data. And many of these people have had underlying conditions as well, and 22 were in aged care. Mr Speaker, we've done 12,560 tests in the past 24 hours, and there have been 379 people in hospital and 35 in ICU. Our vaccine coverage is 92.59% of at least one dose and 90.66% double dose, and 63% of eligible population have received their boosters. And, Mr Speaker, on behalf of the House too, can I express my condolences to all the people who have, to the families who've lost loved ones during this Omicron wave. There are many people out there that no longer have their loved ones with them, and I know that everyone in the House would also like to pass on their condolences as well. Our 5 to 11-year-olds, 42.2% of eligible young people have had their first dose as well. But of course we want to see that lifted up, especially as we approach March the 4th. Mr Speaker, overnight, and I think people in the South East absolutely experienced this, I know that it woke me up, there has been intense rainfall throughout the Wide Bay, Sunshine Coast areas and in Brisbane. In some places, 300 to 400 millimetres fell in a very short time with very little warning. 424 millimetres at Mount Wolvi, 356 at Pomona, 354 at Cedar Pocket Dam, 350 at Kinkin and 343 at Curran. The SES has received more than 100 requests already for assistance to respond to flooded properties and vehicles, mostly in the Sunshine Coast, Gympie and Noosa local council areas. Swiftwater rescue crews were called to 27 incidents overnight, including vehicles stuck in floodwater in the Cooroy, Kinkin, Gympie and surrounding areas. Some rescues are ongoing due to challenging and dangerous conditions. Tragically, Mr Speaker, I have just been advised that a 60-year-old person has been found deceased after a vehicle was submerged in water just after 8 a.m. this morning. And once again, this is indeed a tragedy during this particular period of time. A freight train has also overturned in Traviston, south of Gympie. Crews are currently on scene. I'm advised that the driver has been rescued with minor injuries. There is a diesel leak that's being managed, and the Transport Minister will have a further update on that shortly. There are multiple road closures, so please heed the warnings, which are also affecting some schools. I'm advised at the moment there are 7 schools that are closed. Dagan State School, Gympie East State School, Kadanga State School, Kenilworth State Community College, Kiora State School, Kinkin State School, Pomona State School. Education Queensland and Main Road websites will have the latest information as it becomes available, and please look out for updates. Right now, 15 SEQ water-managed dams are at capacity, with several spilling, including the Baroon Pocket Dam on the Sunshine Coast, Hinds Dam on the Gold Coast and the Leslie Harrison Dam at Redlands. A severe weather warning remains in place for areas between Maryborough to the Gold Coast and stretching west to Toowoomba. We've just had a briefing with the Bureau of Meteorology and the State Disaster Coordinator, as well as police and emergency services. Heavy rainfall is predicted to continue today and into Thursday. This has the potential to be a significant rainfall event for southeast Queensland. Locally, intense rainfall is possible, and since many catchments are now saturated, there is an increased risk of dangerous and life-threatening flash flooding over the coming days. Over the coming days, some areas will also see a month's worth of rainfall. We will continue to listen to the latest advice from the Weather Bureau, QPS, QFS and other authorities. There may be more road and school closures. My ministers and I will be getting briefings throughout the course of the day. Please, I can't stress this enough, don't take any risks. Avoid unnecessary travel and stay well away from floodwater. If you require SES assistance, call 132 500 or 000 if it is a life-threatening emergency. And also remember, if it's flooded, forget it. Mr Speaker, we'll be monitoring this very closely, especially in relation to schools. Also, if people are living around creeks, they should exercise due caution. The more intense rainfall we are hearing is likely to come tomorrow, and as the Bureau has said, this can be a life-threatening weather event. So please, I urge caution to everyone out there in the SEQ over the next 24 to 48 hours. Mr Speaker, every child deserves to have the best possible start in life. Today I'm proud to announce the largest investment in kindergarten in Queensland's history. We'll invest more than $1 billion to give Queensland kids the best start in life. Mr Speaker, we'll provide free or cheaper kindy to more than 40,000 Queensland children. Over 5 years, we will deliver $33 million to expand our kindy uplift program from 400 services to 930 services. $38.5 million to help remote and regional kindergartens attract and retain teachers, $95 million for children with disabilities, and will increase our annual investment in kindy from $130 million to $211 million. Mr Speaker, these reforms will kick in at the start of 2023. This means that by next year, a family with one child at kindy could save about $3,200 per year. A family with 2 kindergarten-aged children could save around $6,400, and 14,000 children will access kindy for free. Mr Speaker, under our government, more children are attending kindergarten in Queensland than ever before. Currently, we subsidise kindy for 20,000 children across the state, and the kindergarten participation rate has soared from 77% in 2015, when we came to office, to 96% today. Mr Speaker, this is a great achievement for our government, but also for the families. There is no doubt that kindy counts. The lessons children learn in those early years can set them up for life. I want kindy in Queensland to not only be world-class, but accessible and affordable to all. Mr Speaker, these are the issues that matter to families across our state. There are thousands of Queenslanders who, no fault of their own, would find it difficult to make ends meet to be able to afford kindergarten, Mr Speaker. And as a Labor government, we absolutely believe in equality and fairness, Mr Speaker, and this is going to be an absolute proud legacy of our government. Well done to our Minister for Education. The cost of kindy is a huge barrier for many children and a great burden for many working families across our state. I want to break down those barriers and give every child a chance to achieve their dreams. Social justice, equality, a fair go for all. These are core Labor values. These are the values that set us apart from those opposite. Mr Speaker, we'll always invest in education because that's what good Labor governments do best. I can't wait to see more children start kindy in 2023. Mr Speaker, my government always looks to the future, and I firmly believe that Queensland's best days are ahead of us. But it is not enough simply to hope for it. We are planning for it. We are building the roads and the rail and the schools and the hospitals our growing state needs. And in just 3,804 days, we'll be hosting the biggest event on the planet. Mr Speaker, the 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games will be the greatest single transformational event our state has ever seen. Thanks to the IOC's new norm, we are able to spend the next 10 years investing in the infrastructure our state needs in preparation for the greatest games of all. But it is also important we spend the 10 years after, Mr Speaker, marking those milestones and having a legacy. Today, Mr Speaker, I'm proud to announce the formation of the expressions of interest for the Brisbane 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games Legacy Committee. This is about our future, Mr Speaker. While we will work alongside our partners to coordinate and deliver the infrastructure we need in time for the Games, the Legacy Committee will have a different focus. It will have 12 members. All Queenslanders over the age of 18 are encouraged to apply, except for one position. That will go to someone aged between 16 to 18, provide the perspective of the younger members of our community. Mr Speaker, 4 positions are reserved for those living in regional Queensland. But can I make it clear, I want to see a strong representation from regional Queensland, because this is an Olympic and Paralympic Games for all of our state. I'm particularly interested in those with experience or backgrounds from arts and culture, business, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities, community sport, tourism, health and wellbeing, people who have great ideas when it comes to innovation, and also we need people who have expertise in trade. Advertisements will ask for applicants and a shortlist will be prepared by a recruiting firm. Mr Speaker, one suggestion that has been made to me is that we include a Queensland pavilion among our Olympic venues to showcase to visitors the story of our state. Hosting the Olympic and Paralympic Games is an honour that belongs to every single one of us. The Legacy Committee is another way more Queenslanders can be involved with planning for this fantastic event. The Legacy Committee ensures planning for the Games has a view to the future long after fans leave the stadiums and the closing ceremonies are over. What happens the week, the year and the decades after the Games are over? These are exciting questions that the Legacy Committee will answer.
I call the Deputy Premier.
Mr Speaker, every year we face